Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Unconventional Attorney Podcast. I am your host, Christopher Small, and I am the Unconventional Attorney. Today, we are going to be talking about the 5-step process to get more clients now. Before we get there though, I want to give a little plug, a little shout out to myself. I have started doing a new weekly newsletter that I think is pretty amazing, and I wanted to let you know about it. It comes out every Sunday, usually Sunday afternoon, some Sunday night, whenever I get it written. And typically what I do is recap and go through maybe one of the big things that I was learning about, was thinking about, was doing throughout the week. And then I also break down sort of a little bit of the Inner Circle boardroom live session that I do every week with my Inner Circle members. Then I also, after that, give 2 or 3 to-do items for the week. It's super packed with value. It's once a week, like I said. And if you want to become a better law firm owner, I would highly recommend that you go and try to check it out. It's very simple. Just go to theunconventionalattorney.com/newsletter, and you can get that. I almost said podcast for some reason. But go check that out if you want. If you don't, that's fine. Other people will just pass you by, and you can just only blame yourself. All right, so let's talk about the 5-step process to get more clients now. And I have to apologize. You're gonna hear some little pauses here and there. I'm drinking a what is it? Cran raspberry LaCroix. My voice is kind of not doing great. I've been on a ton of calls already today. It's Monday, the day that this is supposed to be released. I had 9 potential client meetings today, I think, and a client meeting, a syndicate member meeting, and then we're going to swim lessons after. So it's a chock-packed day. I also just recently came back from my annual guys trip to the great state of Kansas. Usually we do this canoe trip. We actually got flooded out this year. This is our 21st year of doing this, and this is actually the first year that we have not been able to take the canoe trip because the water was too high. There was no sand to camp on. We would have been all the way done with the whole trip in like an hour because the water is so high and it's moving so fast. So instead, we hung out at my buddy's cabin, had a good time. I actually talked about some of the benefits of doing things like that, taking a vacation, how to take a vacation in last week's newsletter. So if you got that, good for you. If you didn't, come join us. Get the next week's great information. All right. So I don't know why I was talking about that, because my voice is raspy, and I will be drinking LaCroix throughout the duration of this podcast. Okay. Hopefully everybody's having a good week, month, quarter, everything. It is July 29th. We're almost through the first month of the third quarter, if you can believe that. It's kind of crazy. It's been a super good month for me, and part of it is because of what I'm about to tell you. This process that I'm about to tell you about is one of the only things that I'm working on right now, and it's just working really, really, really well. So let me go through this, and I can tell you too that this process I'm going to tell you about, it actually entails and covers sort of the 4 core elements of a successful law firm that I talk about in the Inner Circle, and that is marketing and branding. That's 1. Advertising is 1. Sales is 1. And productivity is 1. All right, so you mix all 4 of those elements in, and you're going to have a very successful law firm. And some of these steps are going to incorporate some of those elements. Okay, here we go. Step 1. Step 1 of the 5-step process to getting more clients now is, can you guess what it is? If you know me and have been listening to this podcast for any amount of time, you probably have some idea of what it is. It is to create content consistently. Okay, just like I'm doing right now. Turn the video camera on and start talking about what you do. Answer commonly asked questions. Talk about scenarios that arise in your potential client meetings. The cool thing is when you start having a bunch of them, you have a bunch of stuff to talk about. And the reason I just hesitated right there is because I just thought of something I could talk about today in my when I do my live, because I'm creating content not every day, but typically 3 to 5 times a week. I'm creating content for my law firm, and I'm creating content for the unconventional attorney, and you can see that all around. So the key though is consistency, and the key is to create the right kind of content. It needs to be content that is valuable. It needs to be helpful, right? It needs to provide goodwill. It needs to build a relationship with the audience, which means you need to be yourself. You need to be nice. You need to share, be vulnerable. And then number 3 is you got to make offers. So you don't have to make offers to have them sign up with you, but you definitely want to give them something to do so that they will do it. For example, and by the way, this isn't even the kind of content. The content that I typically create is shorter. When this is the consistent content that we're talking about, the daily kind of content. This I try to make more long form on purpose. By the way, I don't know if I've ever even mentioned this. I have another podcast. It's called Get Clients Now, and it is a compilation of all of my short podcasts for Unconventional Attorney. If you want to see my law firm podcasts, you can go to Estate Planning TV, or my long form podcasts, and Estate Planning Daily, or Estate Planning Strategies, I think is what it's called now. Those are my little shorties. So if you want to see those, just go to iTunes and look them up. Your Client Now, Estate Planning Daily. But you need to make offers, and the offer that you need to make is just to get people to do the next thing. For me, I tell them, if you like what you hear, if you want more information, go to estatemeeting.com. Set up a time to talk to me. For here, in my short form videos, I send people to circleofsmall.com, which is information about the inner circle. So that's where I send them there. I should be, but I could send them to a newsletter. I could send them to like a giveaway. I could send people anywhere, so can you. Probably though with the law firm, you're going to send them to a booking page or to an informational page. I would not ask people to opt in for like a free report. I would just give the free report, and then, in giving that free report, you're likely to get a consultation set if they like what they read. The other key of this first step process is consistency. You can't create 2 videos and then stop for 3 weeks. You can't create 3 videos and then stop for 3 weeks. You can't go for 6 weeks and then take 3 weeks off. You have to be committed to the process consistently. Now, you don't have to make content every day, but if you could get 2 pieces of content up a week forever, you would have staked out some serious real estate in your practice area, and you would be making significant money, I guarantee you. Okay, number 2, once you have created this content consistently, is to distribute this content consistently to Facebook, YouTube, podcasts, and your website. The way that this usually flows for me is I make a video like this, and my short ones I do Facebook Live. I just do them right to Facebook. Once that happens, I use this software called repurpose.io to send that information to YouTube, to a podcast, and then once it gets up on YouTube, I go get the embed code and I put it on my website. I write a little blog post for it, and we're done. You can also put it on LinkedIn if you want. If your videos are under 10 minutes, you can upload those directly to LinkedIn. I would highly encourage you to do that as well. I'm getting more and more into LinkedIn. I'm just not talking about it a lot yet because I'm not that proficient at it yet. These other things I'm good at, quite frankly, really good at them. So that's the thing, distribution. What typically happens at this stage to throw people off is they don't take the time to set everything up. So it's all willy-nilly. There's no actual process or procedure to follow, so they forget steps or they miss steps, or it takes too long and they just don't get to it. So the solution is create a process. Follow the process. Have somebody else do the process if you can. That's what I do. Well, that's what I'm doing. Sometimes I do it myself. But I'm committed this quarter to creating a process where I don't have to do anything except record the video, which I was doing for a while. That's number 2. Number 3, after you have created the content consistently and distributed that content out, you're going to want to advertise that content to increase reach increase impressions, and build your brand and get clients. So the way this works is when you create this content organically, it will begin to get some traction over time, but it's going to take some time. There's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of people making videos, not in the legal space, but everywhere else. There's a lot of you're battling for people's attention. And so you need to get that attention by paying for it. The good news about that is it's very cheap. I use Facebook almost entirely to do this. I do have some probate ads on Google, but for my estate planning stuff, it's all Facebook all the time. And basically what I do is I create these videos, and then I send them out to people and I show them to them. And if they watch a little bit of one, I have it set up where they see more. And I let people self-select coming into my world by the content that they view and the amount of time that they view it. Because I figure if people are watching, 25% of a video, then they're pretty interested in what's going on. They're likely a potential client or will be a potential client in the future. So I want to keep talking to them longer and longer and longer and longer. So, excuse me. I had a yawn there. Came out of nowhere. Actually, then I could feel it building. Full disclosure. I'm not going to lie to you. But that's what you want to do. I spend about $1 a day per video, sometimes more. And, the more you spend, the more you make, is the way that works. And that philosophy and your belief in that is a topic for a different conversation for a different time that we talk about in the boardroom, inner circle boardroom, quite often. But that is necessary to get in front of the people that need your help. So we have create content consistently, step 1. Step 2, distribute content consistently to Facebook, YouTube, podcast, website. Step 3, advertise that content to increase reach and increase impressions. Okay, so now step number 4. By the way, if you get step 1, 2, 3 done, you're like 95% of the way there. Step number 4 is to sort of allow those videos to be shown to people, let them sort of percolate a little bit, simmer a little bit, get some data behind them, and then what you do is, as you're creating new content, then you're going to look at the content that you have put money behind, and the videos that are doing well, you're going to keep. The videos that are not doing well, you're going to kick out, and you're going to put in a new video that you've been creating and test it and see if it is a winner. Certain topics people will like better than others, and on certain platforms, right? People who are on LinkedIn are looking for different things than people who are on Facebook. Same with people who are on YouTube, probably looking for different things than people who are on Facebook. So you have these metrics, and you can see which videos are performing well and which ones are not inside of Facebook, and you can flip them out and keep searching for those good videos. Your goal at the end of the day would be to have like 15 to 20 high-performing, high-view, high-attention videos that you just run to everyone forever, and you just sign them up. Okay? So that is step number 4, is to use your metrics to take action, which leads us to step number 5. Step number 5 is rinse and repeat forever. So we're going to keep creating new content, keep distributing it out, keep advertising behind it, keep trimming out the bad and putting in the good. And it's just a nice little cycle that keeps going on forever and ever and ever and ever. Okay, so that's it. 5-step process to get more clients now. You heard it here first. So get started. Start making some content. My suggestion is, by the way, give you one last little piece of value. One little piece of insight is to, when you create your first piece of content, create the whole system all the way through. So create a piece of content, put it up on YouTube, get it on the podcast, get it on the website, make sure get it up on Facebook if you're not doing Facebook Live, and then make like 4 or 5 of those. Then go through that whole system so you can start to do it faster and faster and faster. And then set up your Facebook advertising campaign. There's a very specific structure for that, way you can do all that. Set all that up, get it all the way through to the end, and then let that go. And then just start optimizing for each thing. Okay? That is it. Man, my throat hurts. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, let me know. If you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube or anywhere else and you can like this or subscribe, please do. Same with that podcast. Subscribe, leave me a review. When we get to 75, I'm going to send out more books, and that's great. If you think you might want to be a part of the inner circle, come. circleofsmall.com. If you're not a newsletter subscriber, why not? The unconventionalattorney.com/newsletter. In any event, I hope you are enjoying what you're doing, that you're getting more clients, that you're generating good business, that you're generating a good life, and that you keep listening to the show. Okay, that is it. I'm Christopher Small. I am the Unconventional Attorney. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you again in a couple days.